What's going on, guys? Welcome back to All MMA. The other day, I asked you guys to send me your craziest but truthful MMA takes, and I'll put in a video to debate them. A debate's between two people, so I don't know why I said that. It's supposed to be like back and forth, right? You're debating it. So I'll probably just give my reaction to some of these, whether I agree or not. You know, we've had nearly 60 comments down here. 32 likes, that's a bit off. Why didn't everyone like? I'm going to set this to likes and go from most liked to least liked. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. Let's get straight into it. Right, first up here from Meter Peter UFC. Ilya would lose to most lightweights from the golden era. Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez, Khabib, Tony, Gaethje, Poirier. To be fair, he's already lost to Gaethje, and that's an old Gaethje. Imagine all these guys in their prime. I think McGregor would school him, right? Because Ilya has to get in that pocket and then knock you out. McGregor's got great range management. He could just snipe Ilya when Ilya's trying to come in and get him. That might be a bit far-fetched because Ilya could really take McGregor down. He's probably got better grappling than all of Conor's opponents in his run back in like 2015-16. But I think Prime McGregor would win that fight. I think the McGregor that fought Alvarez would beat Ilya. And Eddie Alvarez, maybe. I'd say Ilya probably wins the Eddie Alvarez fight. Eddie Alvarez was good back in his day. Khabib, in the striking, no. In the wrestling, maybe. He didn't get to show much against Gaethje. He did better grappling against Oliveira than he did Gaethje, which is crazy. Tony Ferguson, no. I'd say Tony gets slimed. Gaethje's already beaten him. And Prime Poirier, I'd probably pick Prime Poirier. Maybe the Holloway Poirier 2 Poirier to beat Ilya, maybe? Or the Poirier Gaethje 1 Poirier to beat Ilya, I don't know. Anyway, that's a good take. I agree with it. Alright, Dagestani Oliveira says, Khabib and McGregor are both some of the greatest men to enter the cage, but will never be perfectly rated since people either glaze them or overly hate on them. That's facts. There's so much Khabib hate, saying Khabib's overrated on this app in particular. Just, it's every other post, bro. It's alright though, he is pretty overrated. He fought like three elite fighters in Gaethje, Poirier and McGregor, right? In his career, and that's a McGregor coming off a boxing money layoff. You know, that's not Prime McGregor. The McGregor that fought Alvarez would do better, even though he still got to round 4. You know, and probably took a round off Khabib. I think that was one of maybe 2 rounds Khabib lost in his entire career. Was to McGregor. I can't wait for Conor McGregor to come back next weekend, man. It's going to be so good, bro. I've got a prediction video going out at some point for that. I've not recorded it yet. I'm acting like I've already recorded it. I'll come out like probably early next week, once I do get around to it. That was a decent take. I don't mind it, to be fair. There's a lot of hate for both the guys, even though they both had pretty legendary UFC runs. A next take from Split Decision with the, was that Michael Jackson Pantoja PFP? Michael Jackson glove. Justin Poirier beating Max Holloway at UFC 143 is good enough. Good enough win to count as the real belt. True. Wait, no, second time, 236. Yeah, that's the one I have a post up there, which I've shown like a few times. Good enough to count as a real belt. I'd probably agree, right? Because Holloway was the featherweight champion. He was probably classed as the greatest featherweight of all time at this point. Until obviously Volk came in and put some belt to ass 3 times. Second time, not so much. I love Max as well, man, but Volk beating him in that 3rd fight, bro. That's like 4 years. Like maybe yesterday or something, 4 years ago. Probably agree with that, right? Because he beat a champion. He beat an active champion, which is at the weight class lower. I still class Dustin Poirier as a champion anyway, but I don't give a shit. He was too good, man. So many undisputed champs on his resume. I knew they added one in Gaethje. This one is from Grizz MMA. That's my guy out there. Big Kevin Holland fan. Max PFP for next week. Let's go. Poirier wasn't washed in the 3rd Holloway fight, but only slightly declined. He was slightly slower and slightly less durable, that's it. Did get knocked down pretty early on in the Max 3 fight. I think Max kind of took it easy on him to not chase the finish, but I'm not sure Max would have been able to finish that anyway with Dustin's BJJ. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that, right? He knocked down Max himself. How many people have done that? Like 3? Yeah, I like that take. I don't mind at all. Like the Noble Show. If you can see all these comments I liked, it's because I was liking them as they were appearing. I didn't read a lot of them. All of them from like a few days ago. Like I put the post out on June 29th. Even though Ilya lost to Justin, I still think Ilya beats Islam at 155. Me as well. Especially at 155. Not 170. Ilya has great boxing. Poirier had good boxing and put work on Makhachev through 5 rounds. 4.5 rounds. Ilya lost to Justin. Gaethje is just like a freak of nature, right, when it comes to fighting. I think he just had the greatest year of his life this year. Honestly. Or at least the greatest year of his whole fighting career. Beating Paddy and beating Ilya the way he did. Gets shit's like a truck, and it looks like it. See, I agree with this take. I think Ilya knocks him out first couple of rounds. But I could be wrong. I just hope Ilya returns, gets a win. If it's over Paddy Pimblett, I hope he doesn't get the win because I'm English. But I like Ilya a lot. Hope he returns better than ever. Gets some nasty slime outs. Goes back to his old winning ways. Right, next one is from Oshi. People tend to overrate how much MMA has evolved. That's an iffy one, right? Because like I said earlier, Prime McGregor would beat Prime to Poirier in my opinion. But like you'd obviously have like Alex Prayer and Chuck Liddell, and Alex Prayer would slime Chuck Liddell It kind of goes back and forth, man. I think better fighters just come along eventually for every weight class. If I was to pick between like Islam and Khabib to fight, I'd pick Islam to win that. Just like a matter of perspective and what was happening at the time in the sport. Like, DC could potentially beat Pereira, or like DC would maul Ulberg, in my opinion. Like, he's not even close. Fairly solid take. It's a fairly solid take. I probably, through my like explanation I just did there, I'd probably say I agree with the take, right? Right, Filthy Casual. Michael Chandler is actually a pretty good fighter. He just got old and came late in his prime. Facts. Fights against Charles, a lot of refs would have stopped it. Gaethje Poirier were close. Closer than I'd not like to admit. If anyone else but those BMFs, he would earn his ranking. He almost beat Oliveira, to be fair. Almost knocked Oliveira out. Almost knocked him out in the second fight via back of the head shots. Crazy, man. Bad reffing in this sport, bro. Gaethje was a dog. That was a close fight, though. Gaethje won because he had a few more strikes. He was a few more strikes up and a knockdown up on Chandler, right? That was a close. Poirier it was very close with Poirier until he got submitted. These are just like the elite of the elite UFC fights. He's backing it up, bro. There's a comment here. No, there isn't. Zap sucks. Alright. Rory Faye. Haraguchi would be clearly a top 5 UFC fighter ever if he never left the UFC. All his losses, which came a little out of his prime, were due to him being a below average sized flyweight at bantamweight. Also, he's the top 5 most skilled fighter ever. You've seen the channel banner. Facts! This is facts. Haraguchi's such a good fighter, man. He lost to people like Patchy Mix and Kaya Sakura, maybe, because he's too small. He's a flyweight, man. He's a bit of a small flyweight. Yeah, he's a below average sized flyweight at bantamweight. Yeah, he's a very small flyweight. And he was dominating Cap. He's dominated Cap before and finished him, and he was dominated Cap again. And because he's probably out of his prime, probably slowed down his reaction time a bit. And he got caught by that massive right hook, left hook, I don't know, which ended up getting him finished, which just sucks, bro. Every single one. Back to back to back to back to back. Of my favourite fighters been getting finished this year. All he's dominated in a decision, Max vs Charles 2. That's not going to happen next weekend, though. Max is slamming out McGregor. I don't care what people are saying. Our next one from the MMA, Mark. Matt Hughes is much more decorated welterweight champion and welterweight overall compared to Usman, and should be considered still to be the number 2 welterweight of all time. More defences in less time. 7 but should be 8. More titles, more passes, future champs beaten, and better age wins. He has the win over GSP. Only 2 people in the world, Matt Serra and Matt Hughes. Matt's was more than me. I could agree with this, to be honest. Usman's title runs stinky, bro. Like what? Masvidal twice, Colby twice, and Gilbert Burns. That stinks, bro. And he dominated Buckley in his last fight, but Buckley's trash anyway. Usman's getting probably slimed by DDP, honestly. I hope he does. To be honest, I like DDP a lot. It was good times when he was a champ. Hopefully he talks some absolute shit to Usman. That'd be so funny. I watched Vampiric Legs video on Matt Hughes the other day, and what the fuck, bro. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But yeah, I think Matt Hughes was a very good fighter. Obviously very skilled. I think he was like maybe 49-9 pro MMA career. That's fucking nuts, by the way. I might be getting a couple numbers off there, but fucking nuts. That's nuts. Good take, honestly. Ethan Ewing would defeat former champion Merab Dvalishvili in a sanctioned MMA fight decisively and dominantly right now. He's been taking out undefeated guy, right? Was meant to fight Farid Basharat, pulled out due to injury. But I wouldn't pick him to beat Merab right now. Maybe if he lands something good on Merab's nose and busts it up and just generally pieces him up. Maybe. Was the grappling the same? Was the cardio the same as Merab in a 5-rounder fight? Has he fought 5 rounds straight through? I know he's fought for titles in like Uriah Faber's A1 Combat or whatever it's called. But nah, I wouldn't agree with that just yet. I think he needs a few more fights. Getting those rankings properly, build yourself up. Promising first 2 fights for Ethan Ewing in the UFC. I think he goes far. Good one from XXCJXX. Shout out to you, bro. Alright, Casual Learner. Alexi Piagrande, I don't know fucking how you say it. He's the guy in the PFL. He's been in the UFC right now. No, not yet. I seem to win his fights, but I don't think he's quite there yet. He needs to like win a title in the PFL or something. Then come over to the UFC. Like Usman Nurmagomedov doing it right. By like defending his belt so many times. Then he's going to come over to the UFC. He's in like, what, 28 years time. Alexi Piagrande, I don't know how you say it, is younger. So stay in the PFL for a bit. Build your name up. Stay in the World Series of Fighting. Decent take. I think he will be in the UFC eventually. And probably a top ranking contender. What is that profile picture? What the fuck? Is that American Aspinall? My next one from Not Dave. Welsh flag. Cubed. Dana White has long outgrown the UFC and needs to go. He doesn't care anymore. He avoids questions. He's removed every member of the media who pushes him. He pretends like he has no power as the president of the company. Time for fresh blood. Facts, man. And just for that first point, man, he's outgrown it personally. He's moved on to Zuffa boxing. He seems to be way more excited about that. I'm going to places like fucking, where was it? Portsmouth here in England? I fucking don't know, bro. But he seems to be more excited than about most UFC fights this year, man. I don't get it. Time for fresh blood. Let Hunter Campbell do it. Let someone who cares about the sport Fuck it, man. The MMA guru and bedtime MMA run this fucking company, bro. The UFC YouTubers are genuinely better. It's weird. Yeah, good take, honestly. I kind of agree with that. I like Dana White, but it just gives you reasons to, like, be like, man, you're the president, bro. Sort shit out. Anyway, good take from Not Dave. Colossal Z says, Kavanaugh goes down as the flyweight GOAT. I think he said, spelling mistake. I think I remember saying that. Kavanaugh goes down as the flyweight GOAT when all is said and done. Super young, skills capable of competing with Van, who I'm assuming Van beats Pantoja, and if he does, they can end up clearing out the other contenders to such a degree that they have a Figure Moreno-esque rivalry. I like the take. I don't mind the take at all. Of course, Kavanaugh's English. I think he's Chinese, Irish actually, but trains in London, speaks like he's from London. I could have got that wrong, but I think he is that. But honestly, like, Kavanaugh versus Van, like, I wouldn't mind either of those guys being champ, right? Big fan of Joshua Van, big fan of Lonnie Kavanaugh. Picked Lonnie Kavanaugh to win against Brandon Moreno. Ball knowledge, even though I've got, like, so many main event predictions wrong this year. Yeah, good take. I like it. So if I don't say much about these, but there's like 60 comments. I'm trying to get through them quickly. I've already been recording for like 15 minutes. Kevin Sandwich says, almost any version of lightweight Oliveira destroys Khabib during his title reign. I'm a big advocate for this, saying like Oliveira would beat Khabib. I think that's certain. I think Oliveira destroys Khabib. Obviously, he didn't beat Makhachev, but Makhachev and Khabib. There's levels, bro. There's levels. Yeah, Oliveira beats Khabib. Honestly, yeah. Manolk? How'd you say that name? Volk beats Shamil Gaziev in an MMA fight. True. The Octagon Enthusiast says, just because you're coming off a boring fight doesn't make you a boring fighter. Makhachev and Chimaev have majority finished in the recent fights. Yeah, people clown on them for being boring just because of the JDM DDP fights. Yeah, man. You're as good as your last fight, according to fans, right? And holding people down for 5 rounds. Like, the Strickland fight wasn't that much more entertaining, but it was better than the 5-round snooze fest, right? And the JDM fight was just pure domination. Not Makhachev's fault, man. He's had great fights with Dustin Poirier, Volk. It's fun to watch him dismantle Moicano. Yeah, good take. Honestly, good take. Great take. Lunch 77 says, Alvarez McGregor beats the Taporia who fought Oliveira, even with the new MMA meta. I think we mentioned that earlier. Yes. Okay, bro, you guys can read that name. They say Joshua Van will beat Pantoja in the rematch. Agreed. We'll get through these quickly. I agree with this. Completely agree with this. I think Joshua Van's title defense over Tyra is better than, like, Urseg, Asakura. Who else did he beat? Who else did Pantoja beat? Kaikara France. Tyra's a better win than all those. For sure. Tatsuro Tyra's a better win than most of Pantoja's title defenses. I'll just say that and move on. Wheel of PMMA at Max Holloway is the GOAT. And you'll all see it once he KOs the notorious MMA July 11th. Then goes against the belt from his son, Justin Gaethje. Yeah! Give me that, yeah! 2-weight champion. P.S. Fitzpatrick says, Israel Adesanya is the most overrated middleweight champion of all time. I'll stop you there. Facts. Factual information, bro. You can't defend against Mohamed Vettori twice. Cannonier. Ramiro. That's no good. Lost to Pereira. Arguably lost to Whittaker the second time. I like Israel Adesanya a lot, but he ain't no GOAT of mine. Strickland's close to being the GOAT of middleweight. Jester MMA says, Zilgan gets dominated by Aspinall in the rematch for grappling. Facts! Zilgan's getting subbed. Black Pill MMA says, people who say GSP is the GOAT are virtue signaling. They've never watched him, or even if they did watch him, all his title defenses are decisions, not a single finish in 5 years. I'll put my life here, I'll stop myself with dust to floor with him. And he's not even top 5 welterweight. It's a crazy take, but I think GSP is top 3. GOATs all time, maybe top 2. Moving like Jones and Anderson Silva due to PD usage. But GSP dominated a lot of his opponents. GSP had like a Dominic Reyes moment with Johnny Hendricks, where he basically didn't win that fight. That's what it is. I like GSP, man. I'm putting him up at that top echelon of GOATs, right? Like Charcoals. Hashtag Bless Mafia, yes. Hashtag Vande, yes. You know my agenda, bro, but I'll keep saying it. Joshua Van has a competitive but successful fight against Pantoja, and then no diff titty boy. Okay, Cap, right? Titty boy. That's crazy. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, I don't like Cap. I want to see him get knocked out cold. MTF, Big John, 5'6", 5'32", 39, 5736 says, better known as Martin Tybur, says Joshua Van will KO Pantoja in the second round. After dominating him in the first, he's able to deal with his grappling. Tyra's a better pure grappler than Pantoja, and Pantoja is easy to hit. I agree, man. Black belt should know to fall. Good take, great take. I like it. Matt says, I see a post about Armored MMA go viral every once in a while. No one talks about how badass it looks. I watched it a few times now, and it's got to be one of the dumbest chud spots I've ever seen. Facts, but I'm not a big fan of Armored MMA. All that like wrestling, where they have like glass on the floor and shit. Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? That's awful, bro. Great take. Scooter Bob says, almost like one championship, fighters should be fined for stalling slash cheating. So many fence grabs, so many eye pokes, so many low blows, and nothing done in the UFC, man. I think every time it happens, there should be a point taken, accidental or not. If it's like very clearly accidental, let him off. But if you can kind of see where they're aiming, take it away. Take the point. I also think the refs should start being fined, punished for leniency in fights. Yes, bro. Herb Dean. Let him die. Herb, let him die, Dean. They talked to the fighters before. The thing about cheating is that it works. Jason Hogue said that on Aspinall's vlog. It's crazy, man. Great take. The GOAT Friel. But you got Waldo. UFC 250 isn't a top 5 event this year. It won't be top 7 by the end of the year. Crazy take. I think it's going to be maybe 1 or 2. I think probably it'll be like 329 for me, then White House. Because that was a cool card, right? Don't even know what I'd put under it, to be honest. There's nothing been that crazy yet. Maybe 328. Because Fan title defense and then Strickland upset. Not final take. Still my goat though. PSY says, Khabib doesn't lose to any lightweights in MMA history. Ilya never wins another fight. Islam could beat Sean Strickland and Clive beats Garn. And Clive beats Garn I'd agree with, and Islam could beat Strickland I'd probably agree with. But Ilya never wins another fight. What? No, he definitely will. And Khabib doesn't lose to any lightweight in MMA history. Wrong. He lost to Gleason T-Bow. Bad take, brother. Alright, Blind Bear the GOAT. So Sean Strickland is the middleweight GOAT. I don't like including Anderson Silva in any GOAT conversation due to the PEDs. You probably still put him in the middleweight GOAT conversation. Man, he beat weak opposition, right? Like, Anderson Silva was the guy, right? But he beat like Chael Sonnen and Forrest Griffin. Those like old era fighters, and he was like the next guy in an older era. I just swept them all. There's an argument for Strickland for sure, man. I like the take. Max Holloway loses the rematch to Justin Gaethje. That's my GOAT though. Murphy, bro. You're supposed to be fucking Holloway. Mafia, bro. The best is blessed. Won the Blessed Express, bro. Max Holloway loses the rematch to Gaethje. We'll see, bro. We'll see. I think it'll happen. I think winner of this, Holloway, McGregor fights Gaethje. And like the winner of BSD Paddy fights Ilya. MMA Glaze says John Jones shouldn't be included in the GOAT conversation. He's PD user and cheat. Facts. 100%. The GOAT Ethan MMA says Carlos Prates will beat the shit out of Islam, and Islam will do everything to avoid that fight. Maybe, you know, the reach and height is just different. We'll see how he deals with 6'3" Ian Gary, right? If he can deal with him, maybe he deals with Prates pretty easily and gets him out of there by submission. But I think if Prates can get the striking going at Makhachev, maybe raps for Makhachev, bro. Great take, honestly. Conor McGregor. I assume Prime McGregor is super overrated. No, I don't think McGregor's overrated. I think he was very good. Gave Khabib a hard fight, man. Did well in his return fights against Poirier. Slimed Cowboy. Up at welterweight. You know, I think he's going to have a good chance at beating Max, maybe, if he's not super duper washed. But yeah, I don't agree with that take, man. Violent Intelligence says, being undefeated is overrated. A fighter with losses against elite competition often has a better legacy. Facts, man, all legends lose. Khabib's iffy, man. But I think Ilya's going to be a legend. He lost. Jones lost to Reyes, man. So he lost, but he's a PD cheat, not a legend. Whatever, I like the take, I like it. Steve Ersig's the best flyweight on the planet. He's just allergic to overhands. Alright, bro. Vallejos would dog the fuck out of Lopez if they fought tomorrow. Nah. I don't think Vallejos is ready, Gabagool. Not just yet. Biased, but TJ Dillashaw beats every bantamweight in history 6 out of 10 times at least, other than Jan. No, I don't think so. I think he gets beaten quite a lot, to be honest. He got beat by Cruz, and that's an older era bantamweight. He'd probably get beat by Marab. He got beat by Aljo, beat by Cejudo. But to their flyweight. Cejudo was a flyweight, right? He went not the flyweight. But yeah, I don't agree with that take. I like TJ Dillashaw, I think he was great. GSP does not have a top 5 resume, therefore he's not a top 5 fighter of all time. He does have a top 5 resume, bro. If you go look at his topology, like, every one of his title defenses is a known fighter from that era. Like, very well known. To, like, even me today. I've become like an MMA fan in like 2020, 2021, 2022. That kind of area. So yeah, I don't agree with that take, to be honest. The last take here is Michael Morales beats Islam Makhachev. He got goofy striking style. I've not really seen his grappling too much, but if Makhachev can take it down, he probably might be able to sub him. Like, Morales isn't that tall, right? He's only like 6 foot. He's not insanely huge. Like, I think he looks huge compared to like Sean Brady, but he might be like 6'2". Yeah, I don't know though, but I won't agree with that take. Alright guys, that was my reaction to your crazy / truthful MMA takes. Sorry that I didn't get around to do everyone's, but it's what it is, man. There was like 60 plus, so I appreciate the contributions from Twitter. It's nice having this little bit of following now. More videos coming soon this week and next. So excited for McGregor's return. Always getting a slime out. Paddy Pimblett's back. BSD, like it's a stacked card. Whitaker's on the fucking prelims. Like what? It's such a sick card, man. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.